this goes out to you. If you're struggling right now, or if you're in transition between places, between versions of yourself, between what was and what is yet to come. I'm writing this while traveling from a place that once was unknown to me, back to a place I call home. Although the older I get, the more I realize that home may not be a place at all. Home it's something we carry within us, something we keep rediscovering beneath all the noise, all the change, all the movement. This week in Lisbon reminded me once again of the nonlinearity, not only of healing, but of life itself. We often imagine both life and healing as straight lines. We expect ourselves to move forward in a predictable way, to leave things behind, to arrive somewhere. We imagine progress unfolding neatly, chapter after chapter, but that hasn't been my experience at all. Instead, both life and healing seem to move in circles, spirals, waves. Sometimes we find ourselves standing in a completely new place, only to be suddenly connected to a much older version of ourselves. Walking through Lisbon, I found myself thinking about Barcelona, about being 25,
Oh my God.
about falling in love, about all the possibilities that seemed to exist back then. And for a moment, it almost felt as if time had folded in on itself. There I was, a person standing at the edge of a new chapter, and yet somehow I could still feel that a younger person I once was, not behind me, not separate from me, but somehow alive within me. Healing isn't about leaving our past selves behind. It's about gathering them, holding the hand of the person we once were while becoming the person we're still growing into. Since coming home, or to the place where I live, I've been alone again. My son is still with his father for a few more days, and the apartment is kind of quiet and empty now. And yeah, after a week of, shared meals and conversations and laughter, there's a part of me that really misses that. And yet something has shifted in the way I experience that absence. I talk a lot on my channel about being and living alone. And while I'm learning to love solitude more and more, I'm also learning to intentionally nurture the relationships that matter to me, because the older I get, the more I understand the importance of chosen family. And by that I mean both our inner family and our outer family. I think healing doesn't happen in isolation. Sometimes our friends become mirrors. They reflect back to us parts of ourselves that we struggle to see, parts we've judged or parts we've hidden or forgotten, and often they love those parts long before we learn how to love them ourselves. And this isn't about quantity of relationship, it's about their depth, about having people in our lives with whom we can be fully human, people who remind us of our worth when we forget, people who see our beauty before we recognize it ourselves. Sometimes, long before we fully believe in ourselves, someone else believes in us. And that too is a form of healing.
Beautiful scarf with flower design. So amazing. Wow.
Lately, I've been thinking a lot about time, especially since my sister passed away. In those final moments, something happened that I struggled to put into words ever since. Time seemed to be shrinking and expanding at the same time, as if the horizon was suddenly moving closer and yet becoming infinitely deeper. Everything felt more precious, more alive. And I think that's one of the strange gifts of impermanence. We spend so much of our lives assuming we have time, assuming there will always be another year, another conversation, another chance, but none of us really knows. And that's not meant to frighten us at all. It's just meant to wake us up, to remind us to love more courageously, to create, to forgive, to call a friend, to take the trip, to say the thing, to inhabit the life we already have. Because even if life may become shorter in a linear sense, it can still become infinitely deeper. And whenever I forget that, life has a curious way of reminding me, through cities, through memories, through strangers on trains, through grief, through love, through all those moments that seem small while we're living them and yet somehow shape the entire landscape of who we become. So if you're struggling right now, if you feel lost, if you feel lonely, heartbroken, uncertain, or stuck, I just want to remind you of something. This moment is not a final destination. Life moves in seasons, not straight lines. Healing moves in spirals, and there is still so much life ahead of you. Not necessarily more of it, but perhaps something even more precious, a deeper version of it. So I have to tell you the story of my landing. It was crazy because right when I landed, there was a thunderstorm that was really heavy and we couldn't get out of the plane. Like they landed, luckily. So, but we were sitting for maybe 1.5 hours or something, and no one told anything, kind of, and we couldn't go to the toilet and couldn't drink water, and no one knew what was happening. So that was quite claustrophobic and not so nice. But yeah, and then, you know, people missed their other flights and stuff like that, and their trains. But you know, I was running, sprinting to get my train, and when I got in, I was like, I don't know, is this going to Köln Hauptbahnhof? And there was this nice person that replied, and yeah, and so I ended up sitting across someone I had such an incredible conversation with about all the topics I've been talking about, like in my last videos and also in this video. So, you know, sometimes in life things can just surprise you totally. And I was just thinking, you know, if I wouldn't have had this weird delay in the plane, I wouldn't have met like a new friend and just had a beautiful conversation. So, you know, and somehow in the last days I've been getting back into old patterns, and I've been thinking a lot about doubt and about regret also. And I notice when I get stuck in both of them, it's as if my energy kind of starts circling back to the same place over and over again. You know, replaying the past and kind of revisiting the past and trying to sort of find the missing piece, you know, that would just finally make everything make sense. That makes sense, that sentence? You know what I mean? And maybe also that's why it can feel so exhausting, because I feel we're not just thinking of the past when we're regretting or when we're doubting, but we're sending energy there. We're investing energy there. And I don't say that as criticism, you know, because it's profoundly human to doubt and to regret, but there's of course no shame in that. But I've been slowly reminding myself that I have the choice, I have the power. That's also something we talked about on the train, to redirect my energy and toward trust, towards gratitude. And I have that choice. And I always have to think of that sentence: life is happening for me and not to me. And this gives me this feeling of reclaiming my energy, of really empowering myself. So, and then something begins to shift, and energy begins to move again. And, you know, if there's movement, there's possibility. And where there's possibility, there's creation. And that's our human or our living nature, creation. That's just something I took with me from this trip, especially, and also from this encounter I had, and this beautiful talk. I've been listening to Madonna so much when I was always listened to La Isla Bonita and life is a mystery, everyone must stand alone. We don't have to stand alone, you know? We can create community, and that's beautiful. I hear you call my name and it feels like home. Yeah.
What are the odds? Man, it's so hard being here at the same time. Missing the plot, as if it's not that big of a deal. We're here at the same time. This little planet of mine, planet of ours, fits in a yard. Like what are the odds? This little planet of mine, big as it comes, isn't it all? It's like a billion or one.
Let's see if it tastes like Svenny's. I miss Svenny's food. It was so good. It didn't have garlic though. Let's see. Smells fresh. It's good. But if you put cilantro into a meal, that's half of the rent. So it's raining like crazy since I got here. I actually wanted to go outside, but it's really raining cats and dogs. So yeah, I will wait maybe until it passes a little bit and then make a little maybe evening walk, because by then I think it will be evening. So yeah, I'm a bit late today. I just want to relax as much as possible before my day-to-day life starts again and swallows me whole.
My tired feet, my tired feet, my tired feet, oh, my tired feet, my tired feet brought me to that red road, so still in foreign waters, ooh. And although I've never been here, oh, although I've never been here, I know here I sung before, here I sung before, and soon I came, so soon I came, soon I came, so soon I came, soon I came to the silent place of quiet voices, ooh. In excelsis Deo, Deo, where Jesus, he keeps the street out. Jesus, he keeps the heat out. Jesus, he keeps the noise out. I know. Here I sung before, here I sung before, here I said I've run, I've walked, I've cried, I died. Oh, I slept until noon and I've laughed and I sighed. I know that here I sung before, oh, here I sung before. I know that here I sung before, ooh, here I sung before.
The more I connect with life and the deeper I fall in love with it, the less I experience time as a line. And the more I experience it as a landscape, actually. Because a line has only one direction, forward, but a landscape is different. A landscape has depth. It has valleys and mountains, paths that cross and diverge, places that we return to again and again, each time a different person. And when we imagine life as a line, every return can feel like a failure or, like a setback. Every doubt feels like proof that we haven't healed, but landscapes don't work like that. In a landscape, we revisit places. We see familiar views from different heights, from different point of views. We discover details we couldn't see before. And sometimes we realize that what looked like a dead end years ago was actually a turning point. And I got reminded that healing is not about moving away from who we once were, but it is about creating enough space within ourselves to hold all of it. Our grief, our joy, the doubt, the trust, the person we were, the person we are, and the person we're still becoming, all of them belong to the same landscape. One day, you may find yourself looking back at this very moment and realizing that it was not the end of the story. It was actually the place where the deepest transformation was taking shape.